Welcome to CEO Money. I'm Michael Yorba. Thanks for joining us. I have Brian MacMahon, founder of Expert DOJO, on the show with us today. Brian, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Michael. Always great to be here.
All right. Hot topics in Silicon Beach. Let's hit those.
Yeah, well, so firstly, we're fortunate, right? We got so many companies coming through here in Silicon Beach, over here in beautiful Santa Monica, that we are spoiled for choice. But here's the crazy things we're seeing. Scooters, electric bikes, stuff being left on the sidewalk. It's not just hot right now, it is gone to craziness. So we've had, and some of the electric mobility companies like Bird, we've had valuations grow from as little as like $1 million, $2 million to $2 billion in less than 1 year. So absolutely insane. And of course, what happens when there's money coming after one or two companies in a particular space is more money follows. Money loves money. So we've had Lime come down here. We've had Jump come down here, all electric vehicle companies. Now, one thing is how much money comes in. Another thing is my prediction on this particular space. I, in some cases, am a big fan of the tortoise rather than the sprinter. I think way too much money has been thrown at the space. I think a lot of these brands are going to find it extremely hard to justify the valuations that they've been given, considering they don't have any kind of special technology behind what they do. And most of us just a big old bunch of Chinese junk being brought over here in big batches. So I think it'll be interesting. But for right now, if you're in the last mile logistics space, if you're in the mobility space, anything electric or autonomous, there is a lot of money in the VC world waiting for you.
Now, you mentioned a couple of names. Let's open that door about who's investing in startups these days.
So the big players are coming in. Greycroft put a huge amount of money into Bird. Greycroft are a big VC down here in LA. What was interesting is the guy, and this is a kind of a warning, but also maybe a little bit of light, a little bit of hope for all our entrepreneurs out there. If we look at the players who are in this space, most of them are Silicon Valley veterans. So they've been around for a while, including the owner of Bird, who's had a previous exit before, has worked in Lyft, worked in Uber. And it's definitely a shortcut to being able to get the big money that comes through. We've had a bunch of angels. Obviously, the big players like the SoftBanks and the Sequoias are deeply involved as well. Obviously, the big players in the first revolution that came within taxis, which of course is Uber and Lyft, are big players as well, because now the disruptors of the taxi space are being disrupted themselves by the electric vehicles taking a bunch of the rides that would have previously gone to them. So it's very logical when you look who's going after them, but there's definitely a lot of institutional money.
Tell me about some of the more creative companies that have come your way recently. You just mentioned one to me off camera, but I'm going to give you some room to go there.
You want me to finish with the Pinata or start with the Pinata? Because it's too beautiful.
You could start. I can't wait. No, start with the Pinata and then roll out some of the other guys that you've got. This is amazing.
Okay, one of my favorite companies, and it's one of my favorite companies because it's not a San Francisco veteran. It's not somebody who's in with the big money, or Mammy owns a venture capital fund. It is a local guy in San Diego of Mexican heritage who saw a huge gap in the market and filled it himself without needing any kind of money. This, for me, is what America was built on, just great family businesses. And the need he saw is that who doesn't like a Pinata Party? Like, what kid doesn't like to have and smash the heck out of a Pinata and have a bunch of sweets fall on their head? So he created a Pinata Party, which is a holder for pinatas. It's got speakers in there. It's got birthday cakes in there. It's got water pistols in there. It's got cannons for confetti in there. But that's not the fun part. The fun part is proof that really a company is never complete until your customers tell you it's complete. So he launched this for kids. Of course, I got a 12-year-old. My 12-year-old loves it. So do all of the rest of them. But what happened was disgruntled I'll say, ex-housewives who used to be deeply in love with their husband, but now have a particular reason for absolutely hating their guts, have put in special requests for pinatas, which are shaped and look and have the image of that wonderful person that they loved oh so long ago. And they're asking for special reinforced bats so that they can really go to town with a proper divorce pinata party. So the world is beautiful and it's fun, and damn, we gotta laugh at each other, and this company managed to nail how we do it.
And then the husbands will come back with special in-law effigies.
Oh, you know it's coming. You know it's coming. And I'll tell you, the great thing is psychologists believe it's a really good thing to let it all out, and who am I to disagree?
Oh, I can't wait to see what they stuff them with and what falls out from there. Oh, my God. All right, who else do you send me? I'm going to send you some pictures, all right? Who else do we have on the agenda?
You know what I love? I'm just going to put a word in everybody's mind right now, which is experience. We are losing the experiences in our lives. What's happening is we're getting all of these tech companies that are coming through. We're having like all of these special particular places where you got like an app for this or an app for that, or you've got a social media platform that's been put together. But the experiences is where the money is. So one of our companies is a dome experience company. So how does it work? They take 1,000-person multimedia immersive domes. They put speakers all around the inside of the dome. So imagine 360 immersive within the dome itself. Imagine having projectors where you can see everything that's happening all around you. So if you're going to have a wedding, well, why go to Venice when you can have Venice in the morning in a 360 multimedia immersive? And then for lunchtime, you go to Paris and you have lunch in a beautiful Parisian street with your best friends right here. And then for dinner, then you're dancing to the moonlight in New Orleans with some of the best jazz musicians in the world. So these guys have signed a deal with Deepak Chopra, signed a deal with Neil deGrasse Tyson. And just to put it in perspective for all of your viewers, think about the fun we had with the planetariums when they first came out. Yeah. And then take an experience like that, add the new technology we have, and then imagine watching your favorite ice hockey match in full 360 immersive video in this beautiful big dome with all of your best friends and a bar in the middle, and you've only got to pay $20 for it. And we're putting one of them in Vegas outside the Tropicana Hotel, right on the corner there. We're putting another one in LA and downtown, and we just signed another place up in Brooklyn to put another dome up there. So coming to a city near you.
That whole new meaning to fly me to the moon. I get it.
Right. And you know, the funny thing with these domes is like, what's the problem with virtual reality is that we're not insular beings, right? We're social beings. We like to have other people around us while we're enjoying experiences. So these guys have taken what's happened within virtual reality. And I would say, again, for everybody watching your show, wondering what's cool and what's happening, just look at how we experience things right now. Look as if something hasn't changed. The TV has been the same for 30 years. Nothing new has happened. So an innovation like this is well overdue. Why I love it.
I love it. And the one thing that gamifying it by interconnectivity of other places around the world, I can see where it goes. This is brilliant. All right, is that it for today?
Man, I'm going to leave you with one more. And I like this. This is for all of the slouches of us out there, right? So I have a chiropractor who's been in Beverly Hills for years and years and years. Got sick of it. Actually, I want to finish with a more important one. Okay. I'm going to give you an even better one, as if there isn't even better. Take the biggest problem, and I don't want to finish this on a downer. I want to finish this on an upper, right? Okay. So the biggest problem we are facing in America right now is crisis control within suicide, right? Poor old Anthony Bourdain that we all loved and everybody else that's out there. This problem was, and it affects 1 in 4 of us, would you believe? I mean, serious depression. And there is a statistic within this space that says if you can get help within 20 minutes, your chances of harming yourself are reduced, not down to 0, but very, very low. Right. Last year, the amount of kids, and I'm talking 17 to 25-year-olds who committed suicide, was second only to accidents. right? 22,000. So the initial thing to try and fix this was, of course, the suicide hotline, which is wonderful, and it was wonderful, but they're not specialists. They're just really great people who want to help. And then you had new platforms that came in and said, we'll put you in contact with people who'll pay you. So this one person who's a psychiatrist works with some of the top people within Hollywood. We believe her partner is going to be one of the most famous singers in the world. She's launching a platform whereby you can get direct access to the right specialists anywhere in the world, online, through Facebook Messenger, which of course is the chosen platform for kids to be able to use, by bringing the crowd into it as well. And the first 19 minutes are free. And then her whole phrase is, give me 19 minutes and we'll give you hope.
Nice.
A little bit of hope for the world, right?
Great. Great. Good note to end on. All right, Brian, I'll be seeing you again and again. Don't hang up. I want to talk to you offline about that pinata.
I'll send one around your place for your wife.
Let's not go there right now. Just kidding. All right, you've been watching CEO Money with Michael Yorba. Don't forget, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.